Kelsey are about to get very nerdy with the NEWTs, part 3. So it is the beginning of another week for the vlogs, and last time I started I had finished one book since I had At the beginning of my last vlog, in between the first and second, I had finished one book. Well, guess what, guys? I've bumped it up because I finished 2. So I was able to finish Circe by Madeline Miller last night. I ended up giving this one 4 out of 5 stars, which is what I was thinking about, like when I was reading it. It's kind of the vibe I was getting from it. I really like the ending. It's very open-ended in a sense of like, this is about one like chapter of her life, and so she's closing one chapter and beginning a next one. So I just liked the way that this one ended. It was really good. It was really fun to get to know her more as like a person instead of just, you know, the crazy person who turned Odysseus's men into animals. Like, there's a whole backstory and everything for that. So I really did like this take on Circe, and and I really do like Madeline Miller's writing. So unless I'm mistaken, she's only written 2 books, this one and The Song of Achilles, but I think she's definitely an author that I will be reading a lot of just because I like her writing style a lot. So yeah, this is really good, and I'm very glad that I finally got around to reading this because I've had this forever, and it was on that list of 12 books to read before the end of the year, so doing great. And that one fulfilled A for Defense Against the Dark Arts, which was to read a book that is Black Under the Dust Jacket, and that's all I had to read for that class, so I'm done with that one. But not only did I finish one class, I did finish 2, because I finished Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, which fulfilled E for Ancient Runes, which was to read a book written in past tense. So now I've got 2 classes under my belt, and I feel accomplished. So I ended up giving this one 5 out of 5 stars. There's not really a surprise there. Like I said last week, this one's not as funny as the first one. It's more serious because it does kind of deal with serious topics. I love it. The artistry is still amazing. I love like the books, and it's really cool because the beginning of each chapter is the same in each book, but like it's different in the second book than the first book. The first book, it kind of like takes over all of the top, and then the second book just has like that little circle. So I'm wondering what the third book will be, because it's definitely like a consistent theme throughout the entire book when it comes to the chapter heads, but they're different for each book. So I'm wondering what next one will be. I liked it, and I'm so glad I've read these books again and that I read them in this way, because that has been fun. 2 more books down, 2 more classes done completely. I've completed 7 books so far for this readathon, and I only have 5 more that I need to read, and then there's about 3 more I want to say that I could read where I could finish, you know, those 2 classes where I only had to read 1 or 2. But yeah, so it's been fun, and I'm ready to move on. So what I think I'm going to move on to is I really want to pick up Bloom, which is the graphic novel that I'll be reading, and this is for the Ian Charms, and it's just one that I've had, and it just looks really cool. And like flipping through it, the art style reminds me a lot of the Prince and the Dressmaker. It's not the same person that did it, but that like this style reminds me a lot of that if they only used like one color, because it's all different shades of blue in this book. But yeah, just the art style reminds me a lot of that. So I'm really excited about this one. So that's the one I'm going to be picking up first. And then I'm also going to be picking up the audiobook for The King's Curse by Philippa Gregory. This fulfills the O for Charms, which is to read a book. I'm sorry, not the O for Charms. This is the O for Transfiguration, which is to read a book that's over 500 pages. And this one is almost 600 pages. The audiobook for this is 24 hours long. So this is going to be a fun one to get through. I can see myself not finishing this in this week. I think this is going to be the one that I like drag over from the week before. Bloom, I think I can get through really quickly and then maybe pick something else up. But yeah, this one's going to be a beast to get through. Mostly because her writing is really... Hi. Do you want to come say hi? I was telling them what book I'm reading. Okay, bye. Anyway, so yeah, this one, her writing is really... The only word that like I can think of that comes to my mind is like thick and like intricate, I guess you could say. There's a lot of like bigger words that you string together. She kind of reminds me a little bit of like when I read Jane Austen, because there's a lot of those like bigger old-timey kind of words that you put together, because all of her stuff, at least the ones that I've read, are all about Tudor England and Plantagenet England, I think is what it was called before then, to like that general area. So yeah, but I'm intrigued by this one because this is the last one where we really, like, we're in like Tudor England now, and like the last couple have had like bits and pieces of both, and this one is the last one that has bits and pieces of both. It's like 90% Tudor because it does take place in King Henry the VIII's court and his first wife, but it's not about either of them. It's about one of the women who sees Catherine of Aragon and how, you know, her first marriage into the second marriage with King Henry, and how it kind of dissolves a little bit and she becomes Catherine's like lady in waiting. So she does kind of see most of Tudor England, but she sees a little bit of what like was before King Henry became the king. Hello. Someone decided to join us. This is gonna take me forever to get through. I'm only looking forward to it like a little. I'm excited to finish her series, but this one's like the beast one in the middle that like no one wants to get to. Anyway, we'll see. But yeah, so those are my plans for now. Today we're going to hang out with a couple of friends later, so he's real excited because the place we're going to is one of his favorites. But, so yeah, we're gonna go have dinner with some friends later we haven't seen probably since the wedding. Yeah, that's our plans for the day. I'm exhausted. I need coffee or something because I'm like dying. It is a late update. I haven't really been on here in a while, so here I am updating y'all. It's Sunday night and I need to get ready for bed, but my dad's coming in town, but he's not going to get here until later, so I'm trying to stay up for him. But I've been reading Bloom, and I'm 224 pages into it, and it's really cute. I'm really liking it. The story is so cute. I like it a lot, and they've got some pages in here, which I'm see if I can find one for you, where like the two main characters are just baking bread. Here's one. And so they've just got like these 2 pages of them just being cute and making bread together, and it's like a montage, but in like illustrated. I really like it because there's not a whole lot of dialogue in this, but there doesn't need to be for the story. I feel like a lot of the graphic novels that I've read lately are more centered towards the younger audience, which is fine. I just don't always get as much out of them as other people do. Like, they're cute and all, but like the moral of the story is too easy and things like that because they're made for younger audiences. And I feel like this one is in between, so like it's older than that because there is problems in here, and there is like Ari wants to start a band and move away from home, and Hector wants to like just bake, and he's like loves Ari's family's bakery, and like that's how they meet, and there's like so much there. So it's like more adult problems, but they're not, I feel like it's not going to be too hard to solve them, if that makes any sense. But we'll see. Like I said, I'm really liking it. I'm realizing that I really like graphic novels that are pretty thick, but there's only like one. There's not like multiple volumes. Like, I do like the multiple volume graphic novel, but this one, I just like the one and dones. Those are really fun. Like the one that I read, Nimona, about the dragon, the one that I read last year, I want to say, for the Owls and the Newts, It's probably one of my favorite graphic novels that I've ever read, and this one I think is going to be up there with that one. So I'm really liking this one, and I think I've been thinking, and I have a copy of Milk and Honey by Rupi Kaur, and it's in paperback, so I'm thinking that I'm going to use that instead of The Song of Achilles for the paperback. I don't even remember, Charms maybe, the O for that one, where it's just to read a paperback, because I'm really worried about the war aspects, which I've talked about a lot on this channel, but like, her writing is so descriptive that the blood and gore, which is like my least favorite part of books, I feel like is going to be a little much for me, so I think I'm going to steer clear of that one, at least for now, and read Rupi Kaur's poetry book instead. So yeah, I think that's what I'm going to pick up next, because I think this is the E for that challenge, and that would come after this one. I think. I don't remember, but yeah, I can't even hold my own camera. Anyway, so that's my update. I think I'm going to go take a shower and then see if I can get maybe the rest of this done, because it doesn't take very long to read. I just haven't had a lot of time to read in the last couple days. So yeah, I'm having fun with this one. I'm really liking it. I'm liking it a lot more than I thought I would, so this was a good choice. This was a good choice. It's a little bit later than whenever I updated you up earlier, but I just finished Bloom, and it was so cute. It's just all around wholesome, and I enjoyed it. It did basically exactly what I thought it was going to do. I wouldn't say that this main focus of this book is romance. Like, I wouldn't say that. I would say it's more about Ari and his, like, discovering who he is, kind of, and his own self. So that's really, really sweet. Like, it's not as, you know, everything's fine and dandy, let's, you know, tie it up with a giant bow. Like, it ends well. For me, it's more believable because it's not tailored towards kids. So I think the graphic novels that are tailored towards children are not for me, because while they're cute and adorable, everything wraps up too quickly and it's less believable for me, but it makes sense because it is for a child and not for me. I am curious, because it's never really explained, why blue is the color scheme for this, because it's not like a sad story, but it's really cute. I think I'm going to give this one probably 5 stars just because it was so cute and I really liked it. And yeah, the art is gorgeous. It's very like fun and cartoony. Anyway, I really, really enjoyed this, and I'm so happy that I read this. Let's see. What did this even fulfill? I don't remember. It was E for Charms, so I can mark that off now. And I think, like I said before, I'm definitely going to finish, or I'm going to use Milk and Honey by Rupi Kaur as my paperback, just because I think it's more, like, it's this cute little book, and I've read her second one, which was The Sun and Her Flowers or something like that. And so I'm really curious to see the difference between that one and this one. Her stuff is pretty hard-hitting and not for the faint of heart. So I think starting it now and being able to like read it over like a few days instead of like all at once, because I read her second one on a plane and I read them all at once. And while it was good, it was also hard because they are pretty hard topics. So I think reading this over a few days is going to be helpful. So that's what I'm going to pick up next. And I'll listen to The King's Curse on my way to and from work tomorrow. And then we'll go from there. I have some updates for you. I know you haven't seen me in at least one day, maybe two. But I'm almost done with Milk and Honey. I started this a couple days ago, I want to say. And I'm on the last section. She's got I'm going to lose a spot. She's got 4 sections: the hurting, the loving, the breaking, and the healing. So I'm on the last one, the healing, which is about page 145-ish. I love her style of writing. She has these like 4 section types that she definitely did in her other book. I'm trying to remember because it was last year sometime that I read it. I remember her having 4 sections like this. I don't think they had the exact same, like titles, but they were very similar things like, the hurting, the breaking, and then like ending with like a healing one. What I've noticed is like her first section is always the hardest one to get through. So for this book specifically, definitely trigger warnings for rape, because she does talk about that a little bit. There's really strong talk about sex in this book, so this is definitely more of an adult poetry book. So like that first section is usually pretty hard to get through because it is the worst one. It's definitely her talking about her relationships. This specifically is talking about rape and things of that nature. So it is rough and it does like kind of cut you deep. I really do enjoy her writing style. It's so raw. I can't imagine anyone going through this book and not finding at least one poem or like one little short thing that they can relate to. It's that powerful, and I think a lot of people can relate to what she is talking about. So I don't have much left. I've got the last one, which is the healing, so that'll probably be a lot better and a lot more uplifting to get through. But she's definitely just got like some one-liners in here that, I'm sure I've showed you some. They're so great. I love it. I could see myself finishing this one tonight because there's really not much left of that book. And I have been listening to The King's Curse on my way to and from work, a little bit around the house. I didn't listen to it much on Monday. I was just in like a music mood. I didn't feel like listening to an audiobook, so I didn't. But I've been listening to it for the past couple days, and I'm about 150 pages into it, so like made a little bit of a dent, not too much. But I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about it at first, because she's taking kind of one of the more side characters and kind of telling her story. It's Margaret Poole, who is the first lady in waiting to Catherine of Aragon, who is King Henry VIII's first wife. So it's her like look at the Tudor kind of world and see how that is from her perspective. I just love how Philippa Gregory can just layer in all of these things that she has talked about in previous books, and there's just so much history here, and I don't know how she keeps it straight. But I am enjoying this now that I've gotten into it a little bit more. I do care a little bit more about Margaret. I don't know why I'm holding it up like this, because you can't, like, there's no fun cover to look at. So I'm definitely enjoying this more than I was when I first started. Like, I'm invested now. I've been with it enough that I now have feelings for these people. It's really interesting, especially because the book that's like right before this in her like series is actually from Catherine of Aragon's perspective, and so we're seeing all of the same things but from another side. But that's where I'm at with these books. I don't see myself finishing this one anytime soon. That's my update for now. I think I'm gonna go sit down and read some more of this. That's my plan. Do a quick update. I feel like I haven't talked to you guys in a couple days, so let's talk about some books and some of the stuff that I've read. As you know, last night I finished Milk and Honey by Ruby Kaur, or that's my bookmark is still in it, and I gave this one 4 out of 5 stars. I really liked it. I can definitely tell a difference between this one and her other book. I think it's Sun and Her Flowers. This is her first one and that is her second one, and I did read that one a little while, like I think in December, so I'm a little like removed from it, but from what I can remember, I think I can really tell that this is the debut and that one is her second. Not because like her writing style is that different, it's just I feel like in Sun and Her Flowers it has definitely matured a little more than what I've read in here. But I did really, really like this one. Her poems are amazing. I'm really glad that I did, drop that one. I'm really glad that I did pick this one up and replace Song of Achilles with this one, because I think that this was a really good choice for me. So I'm really glad that I read this one. As far as current reads, I'm still reading The King's Curse. I am on page 269, so about here, not quite halfway, but pretty close. I am really enjoying it. I'm noticing a lot of things about her writing, and we're getting into like the chaotic Tudor years, so it's very interesting. Things change all the time in this book, so I'm really intrigued. So I'm thinking that while this one is the one that I stressed about the most, I think that's one of the ones that I'm enjoying the most, because while like the Cousin Wars, which is what happens kind of before the Tudors take the throne, was really interesting and I liked the layering of those, I think Tudor England, those kinds of books are going to really stick with me, especially because it follows a woman who is not royal. I mean, she is, but she's not, you know, like, she never ruled. She's not, you know, one of the people that King Henry, you know, sleeps with or is married to. She's kind of an outsider in a sense, where she like lives in court and her like family is there, but she has like an outside perspective on the chaos that is the King Henry VIII and his court. So I'm really enjoying this one, especially a lot more than I thought I would. So I am, like I said, almost halfway, like these close to halfway. But now with Milk and Honey done, I have to pick another book that I'm going to physically read. And I think I'm going to finally pick up The Loneliest Girl in the Universe. This is the one that if you've been watching all my vlogs, I mentioned in the very first one within like a minute of starting it that I was going to read it, and then I never actually did it. So I'm actually going to pick this one up now, because with Milk and Honey done, that completes all the challenges that I have for Charms. So I have completed the Charms class, and that follows the If Defense Against the Dark Arts and Ancient Runes. I have finished 3 out of my 5 classes, and this would be my E for Arithmancy to read a standalone, and then I only have one more after this. So really, if I can finish this one, if I can finish The King's Curse, and I can finish one more, then I will be set for all the books that I need to finish. So I'm hoping to get this one done, and hopefully, you know, The King's Curse is a big one, so that's the one that I'm really worried about. And I haven't been listening to it as much as, you know, like every single time, because like on Monday I just was like really sleepy when I went to work, and I didn't want to listen to that audiobook because I was afraid I was going to fall asleep. So I definitely haven't been listening to it as much as I would have normally, but I'm hoping to like get that done and then like focus on reading this one in like a physical format, and maybe the one that's coming after this one, which would be Diplomatic Immunity, reading those in the physical format, so I can focus on all my audiobook time to The King's Curse. But that is my plan. I'll try to start this before I go to bed. That's where I'm at. We'll see where we go. It was about time that I wrapped this week up. So it's not like late, but I'm really tired. Oh my god. Well, that was unscripted. I'm really sleepy for some reason today, so I don't think I'm going to read much more today. And there's not going to be much more that I can really show you guys. So I'm just going to wrap this week up here. I've had a pretty decent week. I started the blog with Cersei being done. I finished it before, technically I finished it on the last day of last week's vlog, but it was later at night and I had already like wrapped that one up. So I put it at the beginning of this one, and I gave this one 4 out of 5 stars. I really liked her writing. I think her writing's really amazing, and she's probably going to be an auto-buy author for me, or at least an auto-read author for me at this point. I really did enjoy this one. And then I technically did start this vlog with the Chamber of Secrets finished. I gave this one 5 out of 5 stars. We're shocked. I got another one done, and I'm really enjoying, doing the audiobook and reading along. I did notice some things that there were chunks of the book, like a few paragraphs in here that were in the audiobook but were missing in here. So I'm wondering if for design purposes he would take a few chunks out of the text of the book just to make the illustrated one work. I still really enjoyed this one, so 5 out of 5 stars for sure. That was really heavy. And then I picked up Bloom. It is this graphic novel about 2 boys who fall in love, and it all has to do with baking, and I gave this one 5 out of 5 stars. I adored this book so much. It was so cute, and it's getting me really in the graphic novel romance vibes. I gave this one 5 out of 5 stars, and I'm so glad that I read it. It's about dang time. I was debating whether or not I even wanted to, and then my best friend bought this for me, or found it and gave it to me, and so I just thought I had to. So I read this to honor you, Lauren. And then I ended up picking up Milk and Honey by Rupi Kaur and finishing it. This was a poetry selection. This is her first. I read her second book, The Sun and Her Flowers, or something along those lines, at the end of last year. So I kind of knew what I was getting into with her book, and my best friend Lauren also gave me this one for my birthday this year. I decided to pick this one up as a paperback instead of picking up The Song of Achilles. I just was in the mood to read this one, so I decided to, and it was really good. I gave this one 4 out of 5 stars. Her writing's amazing. I mean, you have some pages where the poetry's not too long, and some of the pages literally have 3 lines on them. So it doesn't take you very long to get through, but those 3 lines, I mean, it doesn't seem like a lot, but she packs a punch with every single thing that she writes. So I really enjoy her writing, and I can't wait to see what other things she puts out in the future. And that's it for all of the books that I have completed. I am still currently reading The King's Curse by Philippa Gregory. I am now on page 349, so over half, maybe 55-60% of the way done. So not a whole lot, but it is doable. I think I could finish this because I've noticed I've been listening to it a lot in the car on the way to and from work, and with 5 more days of that long drive and having it on when I put my makeup on in the morning and things of that nature, I think I could finish this in the next week. That is my goal, is to try to get this one done, because this is the one that I'm worried about. So I'm still really enjoying it. I'm really invested. We are at the point in history where Anne Boleyn has her hooks and Henry, but he's still married to Catherine, and they're trying to figure out how to, well, he's trying to figure out how to get rid of Catherine and marry Anne, and we're still following Margaret, who is Queen Catherine's lady-in-waiting. There's still a lot of this book left, so I'm not sure where it could go. I don't know if it's going to go much beyond when Henry and Catherine of Aragon divorce or not, because Margaret, the main character in this book, is Catherine's best friend, and yes, she helped Henry grow, she kind of taught Henry when he was growing up, but Henry's kind of gone crazy right now, and I don't know if he's going to keep her if when eventually he does divorce Catherine. So I'm really intrigued as to where this could go, because every time it goes somewhere and I think I know, okay, this is it, we're finally gonna get to the part where they divorce and then they don't and something else happens, and I'm like, wait a second. I am really enjoying this one. I stand by when I say that I think this is going to be one of my favorites that she's written. just like it's super long and I was really worried about it, but I'm actually really enjoying it. And then I also started The Loneliest Girl in the Universe last night. I'm like 15 pages into it, like not at all, but it's really interesting because like it's not mixed media, but it has mixed media aspects of it. Like the very first page is a newspaper clipping or like an article. It follows the Infinity Space Shuttle, who is supposed to be going to what they're calling Earth 2, which is in another solar system. And it follows this girl who is all alone on this ship because she's with a bunch of people and her parents who were going to go to like Earth 2. It's going to take them 50 years to get there, and like their goal was to make sure that this is inhabitable. Then her parents died and she's all alone in this space shuttle, and she's still like 30 years away from Earth 2, and she like has daily check-ins with her therapist back on Earth, but that's like the only contact she has is like these emails. And like I said, I'm only a couple chapters in, but she's just found out that there is another ship coming to her. I think that one's called the Eternity. It's kind of giving me Illuminae file vibes, but I think that's only because it's taking place in space and she's on a spaceship. I'm enjoying this and it's not too long, so I'm hoping to maybe get some more of this one done tonight if I am still alive, but that is the goal. And I think that's it for this week. Thank you guys so much for watching another week in my life as I try to complete these NEWTs. Make sure you comment down below how your NEWTs are going if you are participating. Make sure you give this video a big thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe if you want to be part of this awesome growing family. And I'll see you guys in my next video.